Hi, boys and girls. It's Mrs. Davis from home, and today we're going to be learning something new. Today, we're going to go in outer space, and we're going to learn some information about our solar system. Yeah, that's right. I think outer space is really interesting, and I know when we get done with our study, you're going to learn some totally true new facts about our solar system. So every time we learn something new, I always like to stop and think about, what do I already know? So before we get started learning, let's think about what we already know about the solar system. So just stop for a moment. Think about what you think you know and say it out loud. I can't hear you, but I know you're reflecting on the information you already know. All right, great job. Now we're going to be learning some new facts. And as we learn some new facts, we're going to be hearing some new words to go with our information. So up here on this board, I have written a few words we're going to hear today when I read to you about the solar system. We're going to be hearing the word gas, orbit, reflect, gravity, and star. Now you may already think you know what these words mean. However, in our study today, we're going to be relating them to the solar system. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to read a book to you called Planets. This is a nonfiction book. It is written by the National Geographic Kids, or published by them, and it's going to give us some totally true facts about our solar system and the planets that are in outer space. So let's get started. First of all, when you're reading a nonfiction book, you're going to sometimes encounter a table of contents. Now the table of contents is very helpful because it tells you all the information that you're going to be learning in the book that you are reading that's nonfiction. You can see there's a lot of information in this book. So let's get started. What is a planet? That is the first page. What is a planet? Circle, circle in the sky. You're bright enough to catch my eye. You're not a star, but a place where gas or rocks swirl into space. And down here at the bottom it says space clues, gas. That was one of our vocab words. Something that has no shape or size of its own. Gas can spread out into the space around it. And then the second vocabulary word down here says star. A huge ball of hot gas that makes heat and light. That's the definition of a star. So we've already heard gas and star in our reading. Hello, planets. When you look up in the night sky, you might see lots of bright lights. Most of these lights are stars. Most stars have planets moving around them. Planets are round objects that orbit a star. They don't create their own light. They only reflect light from stars. Ooh, that's interesting. So out in outer space, we have stars and we have planets. Planets are objects that are moving around stars, and planets have no light of their own. They only reflect light from the stars. Now remember the word orbit? Here's the definition. The path, and of course this path is invisible, the path an object follows around another object, such as a star. And then the word reflect means to bounce back. So light is going out toward planets, and then it's bouncing back from the planet Earth. Pretty cool. The sun. The sun is our star. Our planet Earth orbits goes around, travels in an invisible path. Earth orbits the sun. The sun makes a lot of heat and light. Well, it is a star, right? Its surface is about 100 times hotter than a hot summer day. It's also very big. 1 million Earths could fit inside the sun. And I love how this book shows us the difference between the size of the sun and this little teeny tiny dot that looks like a period dot. That's our planet. Wow, the sun is very large compared to the planet Earth. And then we're labeling the sun. And down here is a little quick fact. It says, don't look directly at the sun. It could hurt your eyes. Now let's go out into the solar system. It's really dark out there, isn't it? Our sun and Earth are part of what we call our solar system. There are 8 big planets and 5 small dwarf planets in our solar system. Now, dwarf means very small. Each planet orbits, travels around the sun, which is a star, travels around and stays in an invisible track called an orbit. The strong pull of the sun's gravity holds the planets in orbit, which keeps them from floating away. That's a good thing. Gravity is the same force that makes a baseball fall to the ground when you drop it. So gravity is very, very important. And it's one of our vocab words. Let's find out what it means. Gravity, an invisible force that pulls objects toward a planet or a star. So important, or we would be floating in outer space. Good thing we have gravity to keep the planets in their orbit and people on Earth. Now, let's categorize these planets, these 8 planets. So we have the inner planets. The first 4 planets are called the inner planets. The names of those planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. They are in the hotter part of our solar system. So these 4 planets are in the hotter part, of course, because they're closer to the sun. These planets are the 4 closest to the sun. They are made of rock and metal. Your planet Earth. Earth is the 3rd planet from the sun. The planet we call home spins at just the right distance from the sun. It's far enough away to be not too hot, yet close enough so that it's not too cold. Here, the conditions are just right for life. Now, in this study of our solar system, I think you're going to discover there are some great planets out there. However, the planet Earth is the greatest planet in our solar system. On our planet, we have plants and trees. We have water and creatures living in the water. And we also have land and land animals and breathable air. We're in just the right spot. You know, most of the time, first place is the best. However, in our solar system, 3rd position is the just right place. It's the perfect place to be. I'm glad Earth is there. Now let's go out. Let's travel out the next 4 planets. They're called the gas giants. Beyond the rocky inner planets, there are 4 gas giants. They are Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. These huge planets are made of big clouds of gas and liquid. Remember, the inner planets are made of rock and metal. Gravity pulls the gas and liquid into a planet shape. In other words, there would be no shape for these 4 planets, but gravity has pulled the gas and the liquid together to form that shape. That's cool. All gas giants have rings. The rings are made of mostly ice and dust. And then down here it says the gas giants do not have a hard surface like the rocky inner planets. So I don't think we're going to be flying a spaceship and landing on these planets. A spaceship would have no place to land. Now let's learn about the dwarf planets. These are the planets that are the furthest out in the solar system. Dwarf planets. Dwarf planets are planet-like objects that are part of our solar system. They are much smaller than regular planets. Now, these are the dwarf planets. I'm going to try to read the names. They're a little bit different and unusual, so here I go. The first one is Maki. The second dwarf planet is Ceres. And then Pluto. I'm pretty familiar with Pluto. And then Uranus. This is the one I had the most trouble with. Let's see if I can name it. Haumea. Pretty interesting names. A dwarf planet can be round or egg shape. Unlike regular planets, dwarf planets may share their orbits with other space objects. So we've got 8 planets in our solar system, and then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dwarf planets that they have named. Now, I'm going to finish off this book, although we're not quite finished with it. I'm going to stop for today on this final page. It's called Amazing Planets. And here are some interesting facts about the planets in our solar system. So the weirdest spin goes to Uranus because it spins on its side. Instead of spinning this way, it spins like a barrel. Pretty interesting. And then the windiest weather goes to Neptune. The winds on Neptune blow much faster than Earth's strongest hurricanes. And then there's a storm on Jupiter. It's the longest lasting storm in the solar system. So on Jupiter, there's a red spot. That red spot is actually a hurricane that's been blowing for 400 years. Wow, that's a cool fact. The hottest planet? Now, before I was studying the solar system, I would have thought the hottest planet was Mercury because it's the closest to the sun. However, the hottest planet award goes to Venus. This is the solar system's hottest planet. Even though it is not the closest to the sun, a thick layer of gas around Venus makes it super hot. And then Mars has the tallest planet in the solar system. Mars is the home of the solar system's largest volcano called Mount Olympus Mons. Olympus Mons. It's as tall as 3 Mount Everests stacked up. So here is that volcano that is a mountain and a volcano. And here is the tallest mountain on the planet Earth. Look at the difference in the size. No wonder this gets the award for the tallest mountain in the solar system. All right, we've learned some amazing facts about our solar system and the planets in the solar system. So here's your job. Hopefully you were listening very closely. What I want you to do is grab your spiral, because anytime we're learning something new, we want to think about some information, not what we already know, but what we've learned. So grab your spiral. I went ahead and already gotten mine ready. I put today's date for 2020. Now remember, whenever you're working on this activity, just put that date. I wrote at the top facts, totally true information that I'm going to write. And then I labeled this solar system. Now what I want you to think about, I want you to think about 2 important facts that you learned about our solar system today from this book that we have read together. I want you to write them down on your spiral. Now, when you're writing them down, I want you to write a complete thought. So for instance, if you're thinking about the planet Earth being the 3rd planet in the solar system, you don't just want to write Earth, 3rd planet. You would want to put that in the form of a sentence. The planet Earth is the third planet in our solar system. And of course, if you're writing a sentence, you're going to start with a capital and put a period dot. And since you're telling me information, you're going to use a period dot as your punctuation. All right, you've got some work to do today. So you're going to be writing, remember, 2 facts about the solar system. All right, until our next session on the solar system, get busy and write down your facts and have a good one.